Welcome to Montenegro. Montenegro, a place where the wild beauty of nature blends seamlessly with centuries of history, where towering mountains tumble down to meet the sea, and where ancient stories still whisper through the air like the breeze. Off the Adriatic. This is a country shaped by time, carved by rivers, crowned by peaks, and softened by the glow of sunset on stone. Here, every cobblestone has been walked for centuries. Every village, every chapel, every shadowed alleyway holds the memory of something sacred. But did you know that Montenegro is also home to one of the world's rarest languages? It's called Slavonic Serbian, a unique literary language that once echoed through monasteries and scholarly halls in the 1700s and 1800s. More than just a way of speaking, it was a bridge, a linguistic fusion of Church Slavonic and vernacular Serbian, uniting East and West, faith and intellect, spirituality and cultural evolution. Though it faded with time, it never vanished completely. Today, in a handful of remote towns and quiet corners, some still speak its words, like a living time capsule passed down through generations. In 2010, UNESCO officially recognized Slavonic Serbian as endangered, a precious remnant of Europe's cultural mosaic, deserving of protection and remembrance. And yet, language is just the beginning. Montenegro is a country of contrasts and harmony. Glacial lakes and Mediterranean beaches, remote monasteries and bustling market squares, highland trails and seaside cafes. It is at once raw and refined, untamed and deeply cultivated. Wander the mirrored shores of Lake Skadar, where pelicans nest among lilies and ancient stone ruins peer out from wooded islands. Stand at the edge of the Tara River Canyon, one of the deepest in the world, and hear the roar of nature uninterrupted. Or lose yourself in the winding streets of Kotor, where medieval walls rise like a fortress above the sea, guarding centuries of Venetian, Byzantine, and Slavic legacies. From the alpine reaches of Durmitor National Park to the royal echoes of Cetinje, Montenegro is a canvas of cultural and ecological diversity. And throughout, one thing is constant: a deep, abiding connection to the past. Here, time slows down. The food is home-cooked and filled with memory. The songs are old, the festivals ancient, the hospitality legendary. Montenegrins speak with pride and welcome with heart, because they know their story is worth telling. So how did this small country keep such a big piece of human history alive for so long? What else is hidden in its monasteries, mountains, and markets, waiting to be rediscovered? Come and find out. Because Montenegro is not just a destination. It's a living legend, a secret still unfolding. And the journey to understand it has only just begun. Vrazje Jezero. The name may send a chill down your spine. Vrazje Jezero, or Devil's Lake. But behind the ominous title lies one of Montenegro's most spectacular and mysterious natural sights. Perched at approximately 1,400 meters above sea level in the rugged highlands near Đurđevića, this glacial lake sits in the heart of the Durmitor National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's surrounded by vast alpine meadows, sparse pine, forests, and sweeping views of the surrounding mountains, a setting that feels both remote and otherworldly. The lake itself is modest in size, oval in shape, and relatively shallow. But what truly captivates visitors is its color. An almost supernatural shade of electric blue that seems to shift with the time of day, the position of the sun, and the changing seasons. On a clear day, the lake glows like a gemstone set into the highland plain. Yet the beauty of Vrazje Jezero comes with layers of mystery. There is no visible outlet for the water. Streams flow in, yet no river flows out. Instead, the water disappears silently into the earth, filtered through an intricate network of underground channels in the karst landscape. A geological puzzle that has fascinated scientists and explorers alike. Nearby, archaeologists have uncovered stone circles and ancient wooden posts embedded in the ground, traces of a civilization that once gathered here for reasons lost to time. These remnants suggest the area may have held spiritual or ceremonial significance long before the name Devil's Lake ever appeared on maps. And then there are the legends. According to local folklore, the lake is haunted by restless spirits, and its glassy surface has witnessed pagan rituals and offerings to long-forgotten deities. Some say the lake got its name because animals refused to drink from it, while others believe it marks the site of a battle between good and evil forces. To this day, many locals speak of the lake with a mix of reverence and unease, avoiding it at night and cautioning curious travelers to respect the land and its stories. Despite, or perhaps because of, its eerie reputation, Vrazje Jezero remains a place of profound natural beauty. Hikers and photographers are drawn to its silence and solitude, especially in late summer, when the skies are clear and the wind ripples across its still surface. Vrazje Jezero isn't just a lake, it's a mirror into Montenegro's geological past, cultural depth, and mythic imagination. A destination where the natural and the supernatural meet, and where the landscape whispers stories that science has yet to explain. Ulcinj. The old town of Ulcinj rises dramatically above the Adriatic coast, its foundations rooted in over 2,500 years of continuous human settlement. Built atop a rocky promontory, Ulcinj began as a modest Illyrian stronghold. Its early inhabitants, encircled by massive stone walls, known as Cyclopean walls, crafted from enormous, unmortared limestone blocks in the 4th or 5th century BC. These ancient fortifications still whisper of a time when legends and tribal kingdoms shaped the land. Through the centuries, Ulcinj became a meeting point of civilizations, a prized, coastal stronghold fought over by Illyrians, Romans, Byzantines, Venetians, and Ottomans. Each left behind layers of influence, visible today in the town's architecture, customs, and atmosphere. Roman mosaics, Venetian towers, Ottoman houses, and Byzantine foundations blend seamlessly into a single, captivating mosaic of history. In the 15th and 16th centuries, during Venetian rule, Ulcinj was transformed into a maritime fortress. The Venetians reconstructed key parts of the citadel, adding Gothic and Renaissance-style towers, walls, and gates, fortifying the city against both pirates and the growing Ottoman threat. Then came the Ottoman Empire, which ruled Ulcinj for over 300 years, turning it into a vibrant, multicultural port city. They built mosques with elegant minarets, public baths, hammams, and ornate residences that reflected a distinct Islamic architectural tradition, many of which still stand today, their arched windows and carved wooden balconies watching silently over the sea. Ulcinj was also once a bustling center for trade and, controversially, for slavery. It's said that even Cervantes, the famed Spanish author of Don Quixote, may have been held captive here as a young man, though that tale remains part of Ulcinj's blend of myth and memory. The Old Town is divided into two main sections. The Upper Town, anchored by a weathered fortress that once guarded the coast, and the Lower Town, where merchants, sailors, and artisans once lived and worked. Though earthquakes in 1969 and 1979 damaged significant parts of the city, restoration efforts have carefully preserved its unique blend of Mediterranean and Oriental aesthetics. Today, Ulcinj offers more than just history. It offers a journey through time. Visitors can walk along its ancient ramparts, explore winding cobblestone alleys, and dine in traditional stone houses that have withstood centuries of change. The view from the fortress is breathtaking, sunlight spilling over the terracotta, rooftops, the endless blue of the Adriatic, and the sound of call to prayer mingling with church bells, a powerful symbol of coexistence in this ancient city. Ulcinj is not merely a destination, it is a living story, where every stone, stairway, and shadow speaks of the people and empires that once called this place home. To visit is to step into a layered world of myth, memory, and timeless beauty. If you're watching this, click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen. It's completely free, but means a lot to us. Tara River. Flowing through the rugged heart of the Dinaric Alps, the Tara River is one of Montenegro's and Europe's most breathtaking natural treasures. Known for its crystal-clear waters, wild rapids, and deep canyons, the Tara has carved its place not just into the land, but into the stories and spirit of the Balkans. The river originates high in the Komovi Mountains, where two smaller rivers, Opasnica and Varusha, converge. From there, the Tara stretches for 143 kilometers, flowing predominantly through Montenegro and partially forming the border with Bosnia and Herzegovina. Eventually, it merges with the Piva River, forming the Drina, which continues on to feed the mighty Danube. But what truly sets the Tara River apart is its extraordinary canyon. At 78 8 kilometers long and plunging to depths of 1,300 mimipron, the Tara River Canyon is the deepest in Europe and the third deepest in the world, after the Grand Canyon in the United States and the Fish River Canyon in Namibia. It's a place where steep limestone cliffs rise dramatically above roaring rapids, and dense forests cling to impossibly high slopes. This natural marvel is protected as part of Durmitor National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognized for its unspoiled wilderness and incredible biodiversity. The river is especially prized for its purity, so clean that it's often referred to as the tear of Europe. Within its cool, fast-flowing waters lives the rare and endangered huchen, a species of salmon that has become increasingly scarce across Europe, but continues to thrive here thanks to the pristine ecosystem. Every year, nature lovers, rafters, and adventurers from around the globe come to experience the Tara's wild spirit firsthand. Whitewater rafting along its rapids is a thrilling way to journey through the canyon's remote beauty, while those seeking peace can hike the nearby trails, camp under the stars, or simply listen to the river's timeless voice echoing through the gorge. The Tara River is more than a geographic wonder. It's a living symbol of Montenegro's wild heart, a force that has shaped both land and culture for millennia. St. Nedjelja Church on Rocky Island. From the sunlit shores of Petrovac, your gaze is naturally pulled seaward, toward a solitary rocky islet, rising stoically from the depths of the Adriatic Sea. Balanced impossibly atop its craggy peak is a tiny, time-worn chapel, St. Nedjelja Church. Silent, steadfast, and framed by endless blue, it stands like a sentinel between earth and sky, visible from nearly every vantage point along the bay. There are no roads leading there, no footpath or ferry schedule to consult. To reach it, one must either charter a small boat or brave the swim through open waters, an act that requires equal parts courage and devotion. But that very inaccessibility is part of its magic. The isolation doesn't repel, it beckons. It invites you to imagine, to feel, to wonder. According to an enduring local legend, the church was born not from architecture, but from gratitude. The story goes, a married couple was caught in a ferocious storm at sea, waves towering, wind howling, their ship reduced to driftwood. Against all odds, they survived, washing ashore on this lonely rock. Exhausted, trembling, but alive, they believed their survival was a miracle. In thanks, they pledged to erect a chapel in honor of Saint Nedjelja, the patron saint of Sundays, healing and mercy. What they built is modest, a structure of pale limestone, a red tiled roof that glows under the afternoon sun, and little else. There is no ornate iconostasis, no electricity, no resident priest. The chapel is as simple as the prayers whispered within it. And yet, it has endured over 100 years of salt, wind, and storm, its silence speaking volumes where words would falter. Once each summer, in a tradition that spans generations, the people of Petrovac come together to celebrate Mass on the island. Boats crowd the water, forming a gentle flotilla around the rock. As incense drifts over the waves and ancient hymns rise to meet the fading sun, the chapel comes alive, not with noise, but with presence. For a brief moment, the island is not just a rock. It becomes a bridge between past and present, between sea and spirit. From the cliffs above town, as dusk settles in, the chapel becomes a silhouette, sharp and small, against a sky of molten gold. It seems fragile, even fleeting. But its story, like the sea that surrounds it, is vast and enduring. It is not lonely. It is not forgotten. It is a quiet testament to faith, survival, and the strength of human devotion. St. Nedjelja Church may be no larger than a single room, but it holds within its stone walls a legacy that transcends size, a living reminder that sometimes the most sacred places are those we must strive to reach, both with body and with soul. If you're watching this, click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen. It's completely free, but means a lot to us. Rijeka Crnojevića, the historic river of Montenegro. Winding like a silver ribbon through the heart of central Montenegro, the Rijeka Crnojevića River gracefully connects the ancient royal town bearing its name to the vast, shimmering waters of Lake Skadar, the largest lake in the Balkans. Spanning a modest length of approximately 12 kilometers, the river originates at the foot of Obod Hill, where springs burst from limestone slopes and give life to the valley below. From there, it flows gently through a dramatic landscape of steep, forested hills, karst formations, and lush greenery that remains largely untouched by time or tourism. In the 15th century, this seemingly quiet waterway played a vital role in the daily life and survival of the Principality of Zeta, a precursor to modern Montenegro. Rijeka Crnojevića was not merely a river, but the backbone of a thriving trade network. Wooden boats, low and narrow to slip through the bends, carried precious cargo, salt from coastal towns, wine from local vineyards, wool, cheese, and handcrafted goods from the highlands. Traders and merchants navigated under the protective canopy of trees and cliffs, their routes known only to locals and guarded fiercely from outside interference. As the Ottoman Empire expanded into the Balkans, the strategic value of this secluded passage became even more pronounced. The river and its surroundings turned into a critical supply corridor between the Montenegrin hinterlands and the Adriatic coast. Stone watchtowers were erected on elevated ridges, and narrow footpaths snaked up the mountains, allowing swift movement of soldiers and supplies. The geography itself became an ally. The river's tight, meandering turns and overgrown banks provided natural camouflage from prying eyes, while locals used their intimate knowledge of the terrain to outmaneuver invaders. Despite the turbulence of history, Rijeka Crnojevića has preserved its quiet dignity. Walking along its banks today, one is struck by an almost mystical stillness. The emerald green waters mirror the sky and the foliage, occasionally broken by a passing fishing boat or the gentle drift of water lilies. Weathered stone bridges, including the famous Danilo's Bridge built in 1853 by Prince Danilo I, arch gracefully over the water, connecting both sides of a town that feels more remembered than lived in. Scattered stone cottages, some abandoned and others still inhabited, cling to the riverside like whispers from the past. The town of Rijeka Crnojevića itself, nestled between the hills and the water, was once a cultural and political hub. In the late 15th century, it served as the royal seat of the Crnojević dynasty. It was here, in 1494, that Montenegro's first printing press was established, producing the Oktoj, one of the earliest printed books among the South Slavs. This landmark event placed the town on the cultural map of Europe and symbolized the region's commitment to learning and spiritual life amid political upheaval. Today, Rijeka Crnojevića is a quiet village of old stone houses, cobbled alleys, and shaded courtyards where time seems to have slowed down. Local fishermen cast their nets just as their ancestors did, and visitors are drawn to the timeless beauty, whether for a slow boat ride, a scenic hike, or simply to stand still and absorb the ambiance. Yet the river is more than just a serene retreat. It is a living monument to Montenegro's endurance, resilience, and identity. Its waters have witnessed the rise and fall of kingdoms, the clash of empires, and the quiet persistence of a people determined to preserve their way of life. Rijeka Crnojevića is not just a place on a map. It is a symbol, a story, and a soul, where every ripple on the water carries the echoes of centuries past, and every stone underfoot holds a memory. Here, history flows as deeply and quietly as the river itself, winding ever onward through the heart of Montenegro. If you're watching this, click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen. It's completely free, but means a lot to us. Podgorica, set at the crossroads of 5 rivers, the Moracha, Ribnica, Zeta, Zijevna, and Sitnica, Podgorica has long been a natural gathering point in the heart of the fertile plains of central Montenegro. Its strategic location, nestled between mountains and near the Adriatic coast, has supported human settlement since prehistoric times, shaping it into a city where past and present flow together like the rivers that define it. Just outside modern Podgorica lies the archaeological site of Doclea or Dioclea, an ancient Roman city that once stood as a major urban center in the province of Dalmatia. With its temples, baths, and forums, Doclea reflected the Roman Empire's reach and remains a reminder of the region's deep antiquity. Over the centuries, Podgorica has come under the rule of many empires and civilizations. From the Romans and Byzantines to the Ottomans and Venetians, each era left its mark, contributing to the city's layered character. In 1474, the Ottoman Empire captured the town and fortified it extensively, reshaping it into a stronghold of Eastern influence for over 400 years. With the Congress of Berlin in 1878, Podgorica was officially integrated into the newly recognized Principality of Montenegro, marking a turning point in its national identity. It would later undergo another transformation during the Yugoslav era, when the city was renamed Titograd in honor of President Josip Broz Tito. Under this name, it became a symbol of Yugoslav modernity and socialist progress. During World War II, Turkey's Podgorica endured severe Allied bombing, which devastated much of the city. Yet from those ruins, it rose again, rebuilt and modernized in the decades that followed. With Montenegro's independence in 2006, Podgorica was reaffirmed as the nation's official capital, anchoring the country's political, cultural, and economic life. Today, Podgorica is a city in transformation. Its skyline is dotted with a mix of Ottoman-era towers, Socialist-era blocks, and contemporary glass structures. Green parks line the riverbanks, while cafes and galleries reflect a youthful, evolving energy. It may not yet rival the grandeur of Europe's historic capitals, but in its quiet resilience and layered heritage, Podgorica offers something uniquely Montenegrin, a city where every stone and street tells the story of a nation that has constantly redefined itself. Plužine. Cradled by the rugged peaks and dramatic valleys of northwestern Montenegro, Plužine is a mountain town where time seems to flow as gently as the river below. Though home to just over 1,000 people, this small town plays a significant role in the Piva region, serving as a peaceful crossroads for history, nature, and tradition. Set near the glassy expanse of Lake Piva, a reservoir so still it mirrors the sky, Plužine sits at the edge of some of Montenegro's most awe-inspiring landscapes. Towering limestone cliffs, deep gorges, and forests of pine and fir surround the area, inviting visitors into a world shaped more by nature than by man. Just beyond the town, the Tara River Canyon, the deepest in Europe, carves its path through the earth, while Durmitor National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, beckons with alpine meadows, glacial lakes, and rare wildlife. Not far from the Audi town lies the revered Piva Monastery, a 16th-century masterpiece of stonework and frescoes that was painstakingly relocated, stone by stone, when the Piva River was dammed to create the lake. Its quiet beauty and spiritual weight add to the region's sense of timelessness. Historically, the area around Plužine belonged to Old Herzegovina, a region once ruled by the Ottoman Empire, and only became part of Montenegro after the Congress of Berlin in 1878. This shifting political past left deep cultural roots. The people of Plužine speak with the pride of Highlanders, their traditions shaped by both Herzegovinian resilience and Montenegrin independence. Today, Plužine is more than just a scenic rest stop. It is a place of refuge for those seeking stillness and connection. In the summer, wildflowers bloom in mountain fields, and trails come alive with hikers and campers. In the colder months, the surrounding peaks stand dusted in snow, and the lake takes on a mysterious, silvery hue. The pace is slow here. You'll hear church bells echo across the valley, smell wood smoke curling from village chimneys, and see fishermen casting quiet lines into the morning mist. It's a town that whispers rather than shouts, inviting you to step into a quieter, more elemental rhythm of life. In an age of fast travel and faster living, Plužine is a place that reminds us of the value of stillness, of heritage, and of the deep, quiet beauty of Montenegro's wild heart. If you're watching this, click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen. It's completely free, but means a lot to us. Ostrog Monastery. Hidden high in the Montenegrin mountains, carved directly into a sheer cliff face, stands one of the most extraordinary spiritual sites in the world. Ostrog Monastery. A miracle of architecture, faith, and resilience, it seems, to defy gravity and time. Built in the 17th century by Saint Basil of Ostrog, a Serbian Orthodox bishop, the monastery became both his final resting place and a place of pilgrimage. After his death, Saint Basil was entombed here, and ever since, the monastery has drawn believers from across the world. Ostrog is perched dramatically on a vertical rock wall that rises above the Bielopavlichi plain, about 50 kilometers from Podgorica, and only 15 kilometers from the town of Nikšić. The location alone makes it an awe-inspiring sight, seemingly suspended between earth and sky. Every year, over 100,000 pilgrims make the journey to Ostrog. Many walk the final 3 kilometers barefoot, a gesture of humility, devotion, and faith. The climb is steep, but the destination is powerful. The complex consists of 2 main parts: the lower monastery, surrounded by cypress trees and built in the valley below, and the upper monastery, nestled into the cliff itself and accessible via a winding mountain path. Visitors come to pray, light candles, and leave offerings, not just coins or rosaries, but items like clothes, soap, or handwritten notes, given in hope or gratitude. Some seek healing. Others simply come in search of peace. Though a cornerstone of Orthodox Christianity, Ostrog Monastery welcomes people of all faiths. It's one of the rare holy places in the Balkans visited by Orthodox Christians, Catholics, and Muslims alike, drawn together by the site's spiritual magnetism and sense of sacred silence. Entry is free, and though the air is quiet, it's far from empty. It's full of emotion, reverence, hope, reflection. Sometimes the soft chanting of a monk echoes through the corridors, deepening the sense of presence and stillness. Standing there, looking out over the vast valley below, with the monastery carved into the mountain behind you, it's easy to understand why so many make the journey. Ostrog isn't just a destination. It's a pilgrimage, a prayer in stone, and a symbol of enduring faith. Lake Biograd, a mirror in the wilderness. In the heart of Biogradska Gora National Park, nestled within Montenegro's mountainous interior, lies Lake Biograd, one of the last true glacial lakes of the Balkan Peninsula. Spanning over 228,000 square meters and sitting at an altitude of more than 1,000 meters above sea level, this shimmering body of water is a sanctuary of stillness and solitude. Its surface is so calm, so clear, it mirrors the sky and forest around it. Even the fallen logs beneath its surface, ghostly and undisturbed, are visible, perfectly preserved in the lake's pristine waters. But the lake is only part of the story. It is surrounded by one of Europe's last remaining primeval forests, a living museum of ancient biodiversity. Here, trees stretch over 50 meters tall and have stood watch for 400 to 500 years, silent witnesses to centuries of change, yet untouched by it. This forest has been under protection since 1878, when Prince Nicola of Montenegro declared it a royal reserve, recognizing its exceptional ecological value long before modern conservation existed. What began as a private hunting ground has since become a haven for scientists, hikers, and anyone seeking a deeper connection to wild nature. There are no paved roads here, no buildings or crowds. The air is filled only with the call of birds, the hum of insects, and the whisper of wind moving through centuries-old canopies. Lake Biograd is more than a place. It's an experience. A quiet reminder that nature, when left undisturbed, thrives in ways we can barely begin to understand. If you're watching this, click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen. It's completely free, but means a lot to us. Kotor. Tucked into a deep inlet of Montenegro's Adriatic coast, Kotor is a town that feels as though it was born from myth. For centuries, it remained hidden in the shadows of its imposing limestone cliffs, quietly guarding its secrets. But today, Kotor is emerging as one of Europe's most enchanting and overlooked treasures, a place where nature, history, and human resilience converge in unforgettable harmony. Set at the end of the Bay of Kotor, the town is surrounded by jagged mountains that plunge into calm, sapphire waters. Though often mistaken for a fjord, this breathtaking bay is actually a ria, a drowned river valley created by ancient geological forces. The result is a dramatic landscape where the mountains seem to rise straight out of the sea, protecting Kotor like sentinels of stone. Kotor's old town, enclosed by medieval fortifications, is one of the most authentic and best-preserved medieval urban centers on the Adriatic. It dates back to Roman times, but its true soul was shaped in the centuries that followed. Step inside, and you're transported into a labyrinth of narrow, marble-paved streets, stone homes, Romanesque and Baroque churches, quiet squares, and hidden courtyards, each telling its own chapter of a story that spans more than 2,000 years. Between the 15th and 18th centuries, Kotor thrived under the Republic of Venice, whose fingerprints are still visible in the town's architecture and spirit. The Venetian fortifications, among the finest in the region, snake up the cliffs behind the town in a 4.5-kilometer-long wall, climbing all the way to the fortress of St. John, high above the rooftops. From this vantage point, the bay below looks like a painting, silent, expansive, eternal. Kotor's importance wasn't only architectural or military, it was also spiritual and cultural. The town is home to sacred sites like the Cathedral of St. Tryphon, consecrated in 1166, and adorned with centuries of religious art and relics. Within these walls, echoes of Byzantine, Slavic, and Venetian influence speak of a town that stood at the crossroads of civilizations. But Kotor hasn't been untouched by time. It has survived earthquakes, sieges, plagues, and changing tides of empire. Through it all, the town endured, restored lovingly by its people, protected by the surrounding cliffs, and preserved by a deep reverence for its past. In 1979, Kotor was officially inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognized for both its cultural significance and natural beauty. Today, the town welcomes visitors from around the globe, many arriving by cruise ships that glide silently into the bay each morning. But despite its growing popularity, Kotor retains a sacred stillness. Within its stone walls, time slows. The light softens, and the past feels not distant but present, woven into every shadow, every chime of the bell tower, every gust of mountain, wind. Wander its alleys, climb the ancient stairs to the fortress, sit in a sun-dappled square, and listen to the murmur of local voices, the splash of a fountain, the whisper of centuries. Kotor isn't just a destination. It's a living relic of the Mediterranean's soul, timeless, mystical, and breathtakingly alive. If you're watching this, click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen. It's completely free, but means a lot to us. Kapetanovo Lake, Montenegro's hidden alpine jewel. Nestled deep within the dramatic folds of the Vrazje Mountains, Kapetanovo Lake stands as one of Montenegro's most enchanting and lesser-known alpine wonders. Often referred to by locals as Trebiesko Lake, after the imposing Trebieska peak that rises above it, this remote glacial basin is a place where nature's quiet grandeur unfolds far from the well-trodden paths of modern tourism. Located approximately 50 kilometers southeast of Nikšić, Kapetanovo Lake is a serene oasis set at an altitude of around 1,678 meters above sea level. Its crystalline waters are encircled by jagged limestone cliffs, grassy slopes, and rocky ridges that offer sweeping views of the highlands. The terrain here speaks of both rugged isolation and fragile beauty, shaped by centuries of wind, ice, and the rhythm of alpine seasons. The journey to the lake is not for the faint of heart, but that is precisely what keeps it so pure. Hikers and off-road adventurers must navigate a moderately challenging trail or unpaved mountain road that winds through dense forests, across meadows ablaze with wildflowers, and alongside clear, bubbling streams. Along the way, you may encounter ancient shepherds' huts, grazing livestock, and signs of traditional highland life that has changed little over the centuries. Indeed, Kapetanovo is more than a natural attraction. It is part of a living cultural landscape. For generations, Montenegrin shepherds have summered in this region, tending their flocks on the rich mountain pastures and producing handmade cheese and kajmak using age-old techniques. This enduring pastoral life lends the area a timeless, almost mythical atmosphere, a connection to a slower, simpler world that many travelers today yearn to rediscover. Arriving at the lake, you are greeted by a scene of stunning tranquility. Kapetanovo's still waters mirror the surrounding peaks and sky, creating a surreal sense of balance and harmony. In spring and summer, the lake is edged with vibrant alpine flora, and its cool, refreshing waters invite adventurous souls for a quick swim. Some visitors choose to linger with a picnic by the shore, while others simply sit in silent contemplation, listening to the soft rustle of wind in the grass or the distant call of birds echoing off the cliffs. Despite its growing popularity among local nature lovers, Kapetanovo Lake remains largely untouched by mass tourism. There are no commercial facilities here, no cafes, no rental kiosks, no signs of urban development, only nature in its raw, unfiltered form. For many, this is precisely what makes it so magical. A place where one can disconnect from modern distractions and reconnect with the wild. In autumn, the changing foliage paints the surrounding landscape in hues of amber, crimson, and gold, offering a spectacular backdrop for photography and quiet hikes. In winter, snowfall transforms the entire basin into a frozen alpine dreamscape, accessible only to the most intrepid explorers. Whether you come for the solitude, the sweeping vistas, the cultural echoes of Montenegro's highland heritage, or simply to breathe the crisp mountain air, Kapetanovo Lake offers an unforgettable experience. It is not just a destination, it is a hidden realm of silence, resilience, and natural poetry. Fortress Kosmač, the southern sentinel of an empire. Perched on a rugged hilltop near the village of Vrazje, Fort Kosmač commands sweeping views of the Adriatic coastline and the serpentine road linking Budva to Cetinje, the former royal city, capital of Montenegro. Standing at over 700 meters above sea level, this solitary stone bastion is a striking testament to the shifting tides of empires and the resilience of borderland fortifications. Constructed in the 1840s by the Austro-Hungarian Empire, Kosmač was not merely a military installation, it was a strategic statement. As the empire's southernmost stronghold, it represented both a bulwark against potential Montenegrin incursions and a symbol of imperial authority on the Balkan frontier. Its placement was meticulously calculated, offering unobstructed lines of sight across the mountainous terrain that was both breathtaking and treacherous. Built from locally quarried limestone, the fortress gleams a pale silver under the harsh Mediterranean sun, its weathered walls harmonizing with the surrounding karst landscape. The design reflects Austro-Hungarian military architecture of the period, symmetrical, functional, and formidable. The fortress features two lateral wings flanking a central semicircular tower, optimized for 360-degree defense. Narrow embrasures and thick ramparts ensured both visibility and protection, allowing the garrison to repel threats from any direction. Inside, Kosmač was a self-contained garrison, capable of sustaining its soldiers through protracted sieges. The inner courtyard, now partially overgrown with wild grass and scrub, once bustled with the daily routines of military life. A cistern, ingeniously designed to collect and store rainwater, remains as evidence of the forethought given to survival. In this remote post, Kosmač is not only a relic of imperial ambition, it was an active participant in local resistance. During the 1869 Crnojevića rebellion, when Montenegrin highlanders rose in defiance of conscription and foreign control, the fortress saw direct conflict. In a dramatic episode of that uprising, the fortress commander was killed in action, underscoring the volatility of the empire's southern borders and the determination of those who opposed it. Following the collapse of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, after World War I, Fort Kosmač was abandoned. No longer needed for military purposes, it gradually fell into disrepair. The top floor caved in over the decades, and much of the interior was claimed by the elements. Yet, even in ruin, its silhouette remains imposing, its stone walls etched with the silent echoes of centuries past. Today, Fort Kosmač is a protected cultural monument of Montenegro, drawing visitors from around the world. Hikers, historians, and photographers are lured by its haunting presence, panoramic vistas, and the chance to walk through the remnants of imperial ambition. The trail leading to the fortress is part of a broader Austro-Hungarian military route that snakes through Montenegro's highlands, offering a glimpse into the region's militarized past. Though battered by time, Kosmač endures. It is more than a crumbling fortress. It is a monument to endurance, a reminder of the geopolitical dramas that once played out across these mountains. It stands, weathered but unbroken, as the southern sentinel of a vanished empire, watching over the land it once sought to control. If you're watching this, click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen. It's completely free, but means a lot to us. Durmitor National Park, Montenegro's crown of wilderness. In the rugged north of Montenegro, where the Balkans rise to meet the sky, lies Durmitor National Park, a realm of raw, breathtaking beauty, sculpted by glaciers, shaped by rivers, and preserved by time. This vast alpine sanctuary, designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1980, is not only Montenegro's most iconic natural treasure, but also one of Europe's last truly wild mountain frontiers. Spanning over 390 square kilometers, Durmitor is a tapestry of soaring peaks, deep canyons, ancient forests, and glacial lakes. At its heart rise more than 50 mountain summits exceeding 2,000 meters, culminating in the towering Bobotov Kuk, 2,523. The park's highest point and a favorite among climbers and trekkers. These formidable mountains, carved over millennia by glacial and fluvial forces, are part of the Dinaric Alps, a mountain range known for its dramatic limestone formations and rich karst topography. Among the park's most iconic features are its 18 glacial lakes, often referred to as Gorske, Ochi, or mountain eyes. Scattered like sapphire mirrors across the highlands, these lakes include the renowned Crno Jezero, Black Lake, near Đurđevića, a tranquil twin lake formation fringed by dark pine forests and overlooked by the craggy cliffs of Bear's Peak. Each lake tells a story of the Ice Age, its cold, clear waters fed by snowmelt and underground springs. No less magnificent is the Tara River Canyon, which slices through the eastern edge of the park. Often called the Tear of Europe for its crystal-clear water, the Tara River winds through a gorge that stretches over 60 kilometers, reaching depths of more than 1,300 meters, making it the deepest canyon in Europe and second only to the Grande Canyon globally. This dramatic chasm is a haven for thrill seekers, offering some of the finest whitewater rafting on the continent, with rapids that range from gentle drifts to adrenaline-pumping cascades. Durmitor is not only a geological marvel, but also an ecological treasure. Its diverse ecosystems range from dense black pine and fir forests to subalpine meadows and karst plateaus. These habitats shelter an astonishing array of flora and fauna. Over 1,500 plant species flourish here, including many rare and endemic varieties, such as the delicate Durmitor buttercup. Wildlife abounds: brown bears, gray wolves, lynx, and even the elusive Balkan chamois, Rupicapra balkanica, roam the remote highlands, while golden eagles and other birds of prey circle high above the peaks. Yet, for all its wildness, Durmitor is remarkably accessible. The mountain town of Đurđevića, the highest urban settlement in the Balkans, serves as the gateway to the park. From here, a network of well-marked trails beckons hikers of all skill levels, whether they're seeking a leisurely stroll around a glacial lake or a multi-day expedition across wind-swept ridgelines. In the warmer months, outdoor enthusiasts come to climb, hike, mountain bike, or kayak on the tranquil waters. Come winter, the landscape transforms into a snow-covered wonderland, with opportunities for alpine and Nordic skiing, snowshoeing, and ice climbing on frozen waterfalls. But Durmitor is more than a natural playground. It is a living cultural landscape where local traditions and ecological stewardship go hand in hand. The nearby highland villages still practice transhumance, moving livestock between summer and winter pastures and preserving a way of life that has endured for generations. Local shepherds produce artisanal cheeses and smoked meats, while folklore, legends, and oral histories remain deeply rooted in the region's identity. Thanks to strict conservation laws and a growing focus on sustainable tourism, Durmitor has managed to avoid the environmental degradation seen in many other mountain parks. It remains a sanctuary of silence and space, a place where wolves still howl in the night and stars blaze unfiltered by city lights. In a world increasingly shaped by speed and sprawl, Durmitor National Park offers something rare and profound, an invitation to slow down, breathe deeply, and lose yourself in the elemental power of the wilderness. It is not just the crown of Montenegro's landscapes, it is the beating heart of its wild soul. If you're watching this, click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen. It's completely free, but means a lot to us. Đurđevića, Tara Arch Bridge. High above the emerald ribbon of the Tara River, a graceful arc of concrete spans one of Europe's most awe-inspiring canyons. The Đurđevića Tara Bridge, soaring through the rugged heart of Montenegro, is more than just a marvel of engineering. It's a testament to resilience, sacrifice, and the unbreakable spirit of a nation. Built between 1937 and 1940, during the era of the Kingdom of Yugoslavia, the bridge was a bold architectural undertaking. Designed by engineer Mijat Trojanović and overseen in part by the brave Lazar Jauković, the structure stretches an impressive 365 m. 75 feet. Its 5 elegant arches embracing the sky. At its highest point, the bridge stands 172 meters above the river, making it one of the tallest vehicular bridges in Europe at the time. When it opened, the Đurđevića Tara Bridge was hailed as a monumental achievement, a sleek symbol of progress cutting through the wilderness of northern Montenegro. It connected remote mountain communities, facilitated trade, and promised new possibilities for the region. But the winds of war would soon change everything. During World War II, as Axis forces swept through the Balkans, Montenegro fell under Italian occupation. The bridge, now a crucial supply route through the treacherous Tara Canyon, became a lifeline for enemy movement. To stop them, a bold and devastating plan was enacted. Lazar Jauković, one of the very minds behind the bridge's creation, made the ultimate sacrifice. Having joined the Yugoslav partisans, he used his intimate knowledge of the structure to demolish one of its central arches, severing the only passable route and halting the Italian advance. His act of sabotage became a powerful symbol of resistance, but it came at a terrible cost. Captured soon after, Jauković was executed by the occupying forces on the very bridge he had helped build, then destroy in defense of his homeland. 1946, following the war, the Đurđevića Tara Bridge was rebuilt, its broken arch restored like a wound healed but never forgotten. Today, it carries not only vehicles and travelers, but the weight of history and the quiet dignity of those who gave their lives to protect what it stands for. Visitors who cross the bridge today are met with panoramic views of the Tara River, canyon, sometimes called the Tear of Europe, for its pristine turquoise waters. The surrounding landscape, lush forests, sheer cliffs, and endless sky, forms the backdrop to this poignant chapter in Montenegro's past. Whether you're an engineer admiring its design, a traveler chasing beauty, or a historian tracing the scars of war, the Đurđevića Tara Bridge is more than a destination. It's a story carved in concrete, etched in memory, and suspended in the air high above the river that never stops flowing. If you're watching this, click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen. It's completely free, but means a lot to us. Crno Jezero, Montenegro's Black Lake. Crno Jezero, meaning Black Lake in Montenegrin, is one of the crown jewels of Montenegro's natural landscape. Tucked away in the heart of Durmitor National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, this mesmerizing glacial lake lies at an altitude of 1,416 meters above sea level. Surrounded by towering pine and fir forests and the dramatic limestone cliffs of Mount Durmitor, the lake presents a scene of breathtaking alpine beauty that shifts with the seasons and the light. Formed more than 10,000 years ago during the last Ice Age, Crno Jezero is a direct result of glacial activity that sculpted the rugged terrain of northern Montenegro. What makes it especially unique is its dual lake structure. A larger basin known as Veliko Jezero, Big Lake, and a smaller, deeper basin called Malo Jezero, Little Lake. These two basins are connected by a narrow strait, which at certain times of the year, especially during dry summer months, shrinks or disappears altogether, dividing the lake into two separate bodies of water. This seasonal transformation adds a dynamic, almost mystical quality to the lake. Though its waters appear dark in some lights, hence the name Black Lake, Crno Jezero is in reality a clear, reflective body of water, its surface often mirroring the surrounding peaks, including the iconic Bear's Peak, Medved. The color changes subtly with the time of day and weather conditions, ranging from emerald green to deep sapphire blue, and sometimes taking on a nearly inky hue during overcast days. The lake is primarily fed by mountain springs and streams, most notably the Miloshev Tok Creek, which brings icy glacial runoff down from the surrounding highlands. One of the lake's geological wonders is that it has no visible surface outlet. Instead, its waters drain underground through the region's Tuinsy complex karst system, eventually emerging far downstream to contribute to the mighty Tara and Piva rivers. This subterranean drainage is typical of Montenegro's limestone-rich terrain and adds to the lake's scientific intrigue. Another fascinating phenomenon observed at Crno Jezero is the reversal of water flow between its two basins, depending on rainfall, snowmelt, and overall seasonal water levels. This behavior makes the lake a subject of interest for hydrologists and geologists studying karst environments and glacial formations. Beyond its geological and ecological significance, Crno Jezero is also a beloved destination for locals and visitors alike. Its serene walking trail, about 3.5 kilometers in length, circles the lake, offering ever-changing perspectives and moments of peaceful solitude amid nature. In warmer months, visitors can rent rowboats, dip their toes into the crisp water, or enjoy a picnic by the shore. In winter, when snow blankets the surrounding landscape, the lake transforms into a quiet, frozen wonderland. For hikers and adventurers, Crno Jezero serves as a starting point for treks deeper into the Durmitor Massif, including routes to Bobotov Kuk, the highest peak in Montenegro, and other scenic highland trails. Wildlife is abundant in the area, with sightings of eagles, foxes, and even the occasional brown bear reported in the nearby forests. Ultimately, Crno Jezero is more than just a picturesque destination. It's a living relic of Montenegro's dosachuum, ancient glacial history. a place where nature, myth, and tranquility converge. Whether you're an avid nature lover, a geology enthusiast, or simply someone in search of untouched beauty, a visit to Black Lake is an unforgettable immersion into the wild heart of the Balkans. Budva, where history meets the Adriatic. Most people know Budva as a bustling beach town, but beneath its lively streets lies a history that spans nearly 2,500 years. A rich tapestry of empires, legends, and resilience. This ancient city, on Montenegro's Adriatic coast, has witnessed the rise and fall of Illyrians, Greeks, Romans, Venetians, and many others. Each left their mark, shaping Budva into a unique cultural crossroads. According to legend, Budva was founded by Cadmus, the Greek hero who fled the city of thieves, carrying with him stories of gods, curses, and ancient mysteries. By the 6th century BC, Budva had become a thriving Greek trading post, welcoming merchants from across the Mediterranean. Later, it became a vital settlement within the vast Roman Empire, strategically positioned along the coast. Over the centuries, Budva became a prize, fought over by powerful empires. The Venetians, who ruled for nearly 400 years, fortified the town with strong walls, many of which still stand proudly today around the enchanting old town. In 1979, a devastating earthquake shook Budva, destroying much of its ancient core. Yet, thanks to dedicated restoration efforts, the town's charm was painstakingly revived, brick by brick. Today, visitors stroll through narrow cobblestone streets, relax on sandy beaches, and dive into a vibrant nightlife that has earned Budva the nickname Montenegro's Miami. Budva is more than a seaside resort. It's a living story of endurance, culture, and the timeless beauty of the Adriatic coast. Montenegro's landscapes don't just impress, they whisper. They tell stories carried on mountain winds and reflected in the stillness of ancient bays. Here, the mountains, the sea, and centuries of history merge into one unforgettable experience, raw, poetic, and profoundly human. Every corner of this land holds a secret, a crumbling fortress atop a hill, a chapel hidden in a forest, a grandmother still baking bread the way her ancestors did. For those who wander with curiosity, Montenegro reveals itself one quiet marvel at a time. Life moves differently here, gentler, slower, more deliberate. And in that slower rhythm, travelers find something rare, the space to feel, to connect not only with nature and culture, but with themselves. From the rugged Adriatic cliffs to the misty mountain paths, every step in Montenegro becomes part of a larger story. One written not just in stone and sky, but in the resilience of its people, the depth of its traditions, and the timelessness of its spirit. So as this journey comes to an end, let the memory of Montenegro stay with you, like the echo of a church bell across the bay, or the scent of pine and sea salt in the breeze. Thank you for traveling with us. And until the next adventure, vidimo se ponovo.